Good morning, beautiful butterflies and everyone. Um, I know I've been saying I'm gonna get started. I made a video saying I was gonna get started, and I literally did not get started. Trying to do everything all at one time. Um, and then wasn't understanding none of it. It's so funny. I have to laugh every time I say that though. Every time I think about it, I laugh because I literally been sitting here for a year thinking that I was doing something, watching videos, binge watching videos, and literally day and night, night and day, binge watching videos all day, all night, all afternoon. Didn't want to leave the house. Like, I think I got obsessed with literally binge watching videos. I was binge watching them so much, and I thought I was being productive, or at least Mama had thought I was being productive. And didn't nobody tell me otherwise. They like, shoot, forget it. If she thinks she being productive, okay. I literally got nothing done. A whole year and a half. Trying to do everything, and I did nothing. That's crazy when I think about it. Insane. But um, it's 4:16 a.m. and I literally just made me some chocolate chip cookies and ate some butter pecan ice cream. Don't judge me, okay? My kids are um, my 21 and my 24-year-old girls. They two of the four that I have that are all adults. I got one son, 21-year-old or a 20-year-old son. He my youngest Molly boy. But my 21-year-old daughter, my 24-year-old daughter are on their first girls trip together. They left Ohio together. My daughter drove from Columbus or yeah, no, sorry about that. We went and picked her up from Columbus and they got the rental car here and they left here from Ohio, Cleveland, and drove up to Columbus together, the two of them. So they on their first trip away from me and Mother's Day together. You know, they're together. They made sure they stay together. I did teach them that they smart sometimes. And that's just me being honest. We'll get to that at some point. Trust me. Um, now that I'm here, I will be consistent. So we gonna get to that. But they are in Chicago. They left out oh what's today? Today is Monday. Um when did they leave? Oh my gosh, night. Oh my god, Friday, I think. Yeah. So they left out Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. And of course, it's like a 6-hour drive, give or take, from here to Chicago. So they made it there fine. Um, my 24-year-old is the only one who know how to drive. My 21-year-old, she learning. She getting there. She getting there. But she can't drive worth a damn, I swear. Literally. I get so irritated with her. I have to the older I get, I'm like, Lord, just give me patience, Jesus. He's still working on me, y'all. But baby, I'm like, dude, anybody know how to drive straight. She was driving straight and hit a stop sign. I'm like, how that happen? Like, it's so funny, but it's crazy. But she learning. So what I've been doing is because my patients we're real thin, and that's my daughter. So we extra close. She's still at home with me. Her and my son. But because we so close, uh, we we way too close. So I let my mother took over and driving around with her, teaching her how to drive. So and she seemed to be doing good with my mother. She wasn't doing good with me, and I wasn't doing good with her. So I had to let her go. Come up here, give her, take her, do what you got to do. So yeah, but she learning. She ain't there yet. She definitely she can't drive straight again. She hit a stop sign, trying to drive straight. So but my 24-year-old pushed it all the way in. And she drives straight to state. She's a pretty good driver. I had no concerns with that. Um, they did good. They first time, watching the gas tank, making sure they stayed on full tank. They've been doing good since they've been there. I don't think well they did say that they haven't been doing a lot of driving. They are in downtown area, so everything is pretty much from what I read, I've never been to Chicago. So from what I read, everything is pretty much downtown and that's where they pretty much tell like the tourists and people from out of town who don't know much about the area or nothing about the area to stay in that downtown area. So they are doing pretty good with that, and they are staying downtown. They've been sending me pictures and videos, but here's the thing, and if you know, you know, I am a mother. That being said, I am not. I haven't been able to sleep until they text me and say, "Ma, we are in the room. We good. We going to bed." You know. Um. Yeah. I was just thinking about that right before I got on. And I'm like, my body is fully awake. Like I am literally wired. I told you I just got finished eating some chocolate chip ice cream and some chocolate chip cookies and butter pecan ice cream. Um, and I literally pulled out some of my craft stuff because I'm like, look, at this point, the stuff is just sitting around. I ain't done nothing with it. I've been wanting to do something with it. I turned my camera on, turned on my video, and I just started recording. So here I am. Um, It took for me not to think too much, not to put too much thought into it, um, and to just do it, just start, just do it. And that's what I did. Also, it took for me to be woke at 4:30 in the morning worrying about my kids, you know? Um, and I got their location. Trust me, we're sharing locations. That's their own, no matter she could be right in the house with me and our locations being shared. So, but still, I'm a mother, and my mother used to tell me when I was younger. I remember I was maybe 20 years old. Well, nope, I take that back. It's 18. Yeah, 18 when I had my first daughter, who's, yeah, she is 29, just turned 29, or just turned 28. Nope, she just turned 29. Lord, I'm getting old. I can't remember Keith's age. Out of all four of them, I can't remember Keith's age. But she just turned 29, I think. And my mother, I remember something my mother used to tell me. She used to say, when they're young, when you become a mother, when they are young, they wear on your heart. Or no, 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 no. When they babies, they wear on your pockets. But when they get older, they wear on your heart. And I used to be like, what the hell is she talking about? First of all, I didn't never think I was gonna have no kids. You know what I'm saying? I was tomboy. I didn't really want kids. Not that I just never thought about having kids, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't cross my mind. But I didn't understand what she was saying, so I never asked her to elaborate. So I just listened and okay, whatever. Kept on going, whatever. But when I don't even think I understood it for real, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't think I understood that until they got grown, you know? Um, when my oldest daughter went to prom is when I understood it because that was the first time that she actually spent spent hours and hours and even the night because they went to Cedar Point, her and her friends, they did the whole weekend trip of a Cedar Point. That was the first time that one of my kids ever was away from me. They had never been away from me. Yeah, that's crazy. When I think about it, that is actually literally that's when I understood what my mother said. I never thought about that until now. So I can also see that just starting and me just starting and doing this is going to bring back a whole lot of, whoa, I just thought about that, which is a good thing. I love that. But yeah, I am a worried mother who was up at 4:24 a.m. Um, they have been sending me pictures and videos and keeping me updated with what's going on. They stand in downtown area again, so they're not going into the residential areas or nothing. Um, but I'm still worried about my babies. I'm a mother. And yeah, I'm all they got. They all I got. This is my support. Unfortunately, but they my support as far as my children. Like I mean, not support as far as family, friends type thing, or but they're adults and they kind of are my support. Um, they root for me because ain't nobody else to root for me. When you don't have family and friends and don't have a support system, and I am old. I am not old. Lord forgive me. I'm gonna quit saying that crap because I am young. I have a long time left. But even though I have my mother and my father and my four brothers, I'm sitting here thinking about it, y'all. I don't recall, and I'm not saying my mother and father didn't love me because I know they did, and they still. My mother still loved me. My father, I know he loved me until the day he died. God bless his soul. But when I think about support, a support system, um, I can't. Mom, don't kill me if you ever see this. I can't really say that I've ever had a support system. Um, yeah, I can't say that. Not even now. I haven't. I've never had that person, who told me that I could be whatever I want to be. Just put my mind to it and was rooting for me from the sidelines. Um, and that's one thing that I said I wanted to break that generational curse in my children. Um, no parent is perfect. I don't care what you think. You could be the most narcissistic person in the world, think you perfect. Nobody is perfect. The only perfect person that there ever was uh walked on waters. And I'm sure that I will never see any of us walking on waters. And before I get too far into this and start moving around and stuff and doing this, because I'm just sitting here thinking now that I'm on here with y'all, I'm gonna show y'all my face so that y'all know that I'm real. Yep, here I am. So I done pulled off my wig. I was ready earlier. I done pulled off my wig, washed off my face and everything. Yeah. But back to the support system. I never had that support system. So there's two things that I always said that, after I became a mother. Because remember, I mean, again, I didn't really I never I don't even know how to put it. I don't regret my children. I love them. I'm grateful for them. Thank God for them. But I I never was the person that had the fairy tale. I'm gonna get married and have a Cinderella wedding and the children and we gonna live happily ever after. I never had those type of thoughts. That wasn't my thought process. To do that just wasn't part of my thought process, one thinking process. And children were not involved. So they definitely were not planned. But again, I am grateful for my babies. I love them so much. I got three girls and a boy, just in case you guys didn't hear it. But yeah. So I said two things that I was gonna break as far as generational curses. And again, if you know where I'm going with the generational curse. My God. Two things. I vowed that I knew I wasn't gonna be perfect. I tried for a long time to be perfect. I tried so hard. That being said, that didn't work out. Um, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Again, I've been with my children ever since day one. Never left them. Never left their side. They got grown. They moved out. They did their own thing. Except for two of them, the 21-year-old and the 20-year-old, my boy, my son. Um, my 28-year-old, she got two babies. But my two things before I start talking again, because I will. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be able to just get this done. And y'all, please forgive my voice. I am not sleepy. I am wired. My voice sound like this because it's 4:30 in the morning, so it kind of changed. I know I sound like a dude. Yeah, but two things that I would break as far as how I was brought up. One of those things, and first and foremost, was that I would never ever, as long as I lived, allow anyone to uh allow anyone to hurt my children as far as, molestation, sexual assault, things like that. And the second thing was that, hmm, I forgot about the second thing going into that. I probably should have said that last. Lord have mercy. Second thing was that, Jesus Christ, come on, Lord. Lord Jesus, I don't know why you allow me to forget wherever this is going, though. I'm just gonna flow with it. Um, mm, mm, mm. The second thing was that I don't even remember, y'all. That's crazy. The reason why I say that, and I don't know if God just, He may be saying, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there because you're rambling. And this is my very first time being on live and recording a video, and I'm actually just gonna post it. Um, I'm not gonna do anything with this video. I ain't gonna do no edits. I'm not deleting anything. I'm not going in and deleting the whole video and not posting it. I'm gonna post this. So, um, I don't know if he's kept me on that topic for a reason, but I'm not gonna dwell on it too much because again, from today forward, I will be consistent every day. Um, and that's my promise to myself, my children, and you all. Um, but the sexual assault, promise that I would never allow anybody to hurt my children sexually, physically, as far as it, and what was within my control, y'all. So, um, reason why I say that is because it happened to me. Um, and I was young. I was only two. I don't remember how long it went on, things that I've allowed myself to learn how I had to learn how to forgive. That makes sense. Because holding on to something that pained you and is trauma, it is going to keep you in the same space and predicament that you're in. You won't be able to move on. So I didn't forgive for the person. I forgave him for myself. And lo and behold, I forgave him for my children so that I could be the best mother that I could be moving forward. Reason why I'm here with you guys at 4:33 a.m. on Monday right now. But again, I'm sure we will get into that much later. And you guys know the first reason. So I'm at the second reason with that being said, because I can't even remember. I literally should have saved that second reason for last because I'm like, dang, I said that first and then I just literally forgot. But yeah, okay, moving right along. Um, yeah. Uh, so I grabbed my crafts and stuff. Um, I would literally sit here and bake some more cookies and make some more ice cream, but that is not healthy. I'm not gonna do that. I was wrong to do it from the beginning. Don't judge me, judge your mama. Judge your mammy. But I'm like, look, I got all this craft stuff here. I've been sitting on it. I've been talking about I want to start this. I want to play with the resin. I want to play with sublimation. I done went out and y'all gonna think I'm crazy when I say this, but I went out and literally spent all this money on all this stuff and been sitting here for a year and a half watching videos, binge watching videos, trying to figure it out and thought I was being productive. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus because today is the day, productive. So I'm going to learn all of it, including building with you guys today. So I'm okay with that. And again, I just started. I just had to start, had to stop thinking, and I just had to start. That being said, whoever that message is for, don't try not to go a whole year. As a matter of fact, stop thinking about it and just hit the record button and just go. First video, I expected to be, I thought it was gonna be perfect. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna know how to edit it. I'm gonna know how to go on here and talk without rambling because I love talking. I am a communicator. That's what I do. I communicate and I love to communicate. And I've always said that, I figured out what a support system was when I provided it to my children. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is what support is, you know? So I was learning as I was giving to them, you know, which is beautiful because I probably would have never realized what support was, you know, or what it meant or exactly what a support is, you know? So I'm like, this is awesome. So they, as much of a support as they can be, they're my children. You know what I'm saying? They're adults and they are very, very well. They do good with what they do. Very good kids. I got 4 good children. I'm so, 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 so thankful for that. But, um, I I worked out the house. My last 3 years, I worked from home. And it's hard to meet people virtually, you know what I'm saying, working from home. And then, the people that I did meet working from home, I met a few people, a few good people, you know, a few nice people that I got along with, was able to talk to through Teams chat or whatever. And I was literally like, okay, you know, once I started talking to them and, you know, we started talking on the phone or whatever every other day or whatever, you know, got accustomed to each other after 3 years of being at that job. Those same people that I was talking to almost every day, you know, about the job. I should have known better because most all our conversations was all about the job, you know, unless something was going on. And I always want to be that person that is able to, you know, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. It's just that simple. And I always want to be that person that is able to listen. And you know, you can't help everything. You know what I'm saying? You can listen though. You can listen. You can give words of encouragement. Most of the time, I think a lot of people just want you to listen. So I'm really good with that. With just listening and just being that ear and that shoulder to cry on. And I- that is what I've done all my life. I've done customer service, and I'm like, Lord, I am almost 50 years old. With that being said, I've done customer service ever since I was 13. Okay, telling my age, but I'm like, what am I supposed to do? January came around. I had been at my job for 3 years at this point. January came around, end of January this year, and I got fired. Crazy, right? While I was on FMLA. Insane. I knew what happened. It was building. It was a build up. Um, but I was just too tired after fighting life for the past 3 years. And again, I promise that I'm gonna be consistent. So I will be here every day. Not a set time yet, but I will be here every day. So these things that in regards to life we will get into. And um, you know, I would love to be able to get up enough so that I can go live. I think first things first is that I felt uncomfortable, you know, just recording videos and talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I like to be able to be in the room with y'all. I like to be able to go live. And I didn't realize that with YouTube, you had to have 50 subscribers to go live, but I learned today. But anyways, January of this year, I got fired from my job. And again, it was building up. I knew it was coming. No, I'm lying. I didn't think they was gonna do what they did. I didn't think they was gonna fire me. I thought it was gonna be another write up or, you know, they was gonna keep picking with me and trying to get me to quit. And I knew I wasn't quitting. That wasn't happening. Um, and they was messing with me for 2 years. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep on pulling my big girl panties up and I ain't quitting. You know what I'm saying? I loved what I did. It was customer service and I was able to help people with Medicaid insurance, like babies and things. You know what I'm saying? I was on the phone. So I was taking calls with prior authorizations, customer service, just a little bit of everything or whatever. But um, that's my field and that's where I thrive at customer service. I love, love, love being able to be able to solve people problems, especially problems when it come down to like medical, you know, the medical thing, because you'd be surprised. Those of you all who have Medicaid, I don't know what it's like in your states, but here in Ohio, oh my God, it's terrible. Um, but I'm thankful for it. And I know a lot of people are thankful for it. So I thank God for it because without it, ugh. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even go into that. Thankful for it. However, taking those phone calls were rough. You know what I'm saying? Because I spoke to parents who were going through things, with babies who were sick, um, fighting cancer, and they were getting prior authorizations denied. And I had been in the medical, excuse me, medical part of the customer service world. First, I was 3 years at Medicaid. 3, 4, for like the past 7 years, the medical portion. Prior to that, I was doing technical support for the cable company. And then right after the cable company was my first, very, very first on the phone, literally on the phone, taking calls, 100 calls a day, customer service. But remember, I started at like 13 at the Family Dollar, which was customer service. I've always been a very, very social person. Um, and for some odd reason, even thinking back to me being 13, um, I've always been that person that people, I've never had an issue talking to people or, you know, walking up to people and speaking to them. You know, people think that's weird nowadays. I'm Southern too, so Southern bumpkin. Um, that being said, though, the new generation of children, these new millennials, they think that's weird. Um, but I never had a problem with it. In non actuality, I actually enjoyed it. I loved it because I was able to communicate with people. So I stayed in that after the Family Dollar. I went on to do customer service for the cable company. Cable company, I stayed there for 10 years. Had my first baby there, everything. I loved it. I didn't have to do no sales portion. I would answer the phone. People call in, they having trouble with the internet, a cable or whatever. And this was back when AOL dial up was in there. Dude, Lord. Half of y'all probably ain't gonna know what dial up is, but if you know, you know. When we was working with dinosaurs, computers, okay, we called them dinosaurs back then. But that being said, I enjoyed being able to solve people problems. They call in, they had an outage, couldn't figure out what was going on. I troubleshoot them and figure out how to get their internet, their TV back up and working, and the excitement and the joy and just being able to hear these people, go from cussing me out when they called in or being so upset and you know what I'm saying? That phone ain't working 'cause phones was hooked up to it back then and everything, boy, everything ran through that. Couldn't talk to kids. I remember people having, husbands and sons and things that were out of state and, in the army, things like that. I just remember those type of things. And it gave me so much joy in my heart, even though the cause was hard. It was not an easy job. It ain't been easy, period. But it was I loved it. I enjoyed it. And I said this is the field that I want to be in. I don't know, exactly what, but anything dealing with people. Um, so yeah, that's my story within the customer service field. But let's jump on back to January 2026. So got fired from my job. Um, and really been having trouble finding one. However, I will say, normally, if I'm without a job, because I work 2 or 3 jobs, I'm saying I will burn myself out. Job offer, OT, I'm there. Um, I'm a hustler. I hustle. I'm a hustler. I always want to be doing something. Always want to be doing something. I don't like sitting still. And because idle mind is devil playgrounds, and it definitely been playing. He definitely been playing, baby. I'm telling you. I rebuke him in the name of Jesus, but he definitely be trying to play. Still be trying. Don't try until the day I die. I know that. But I've been at home since then, and I started to feel the depression kick in. Because I was literally in the house. Prior to that, I was working from home for those 3 years. The whole 3 years I was there, I was working from home. So again, I was getting to know people virtually at the job through the chat, and we would talk, and just being able to listen and be able to be there for them and motivate them. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't expect it back in return. Again, because if you don't know what a support system is, all you know, so if all you know is how to pour and empty your cup into others and give them everything you got, and that's all you know, even as an adult, you don't know what it's like, and you don't, how can I put this? You don't expect for anyone to be able to pour back into you because you just used to pouring and emptying your cup out and figuring out how to, you know, how to fill it back up the best way you know how. And that gets exhausting over the years. Excuse me. It wear you out. It will wear you out, wear you down. Living witness right here. Amen. But I didn't know what it felt like for people to pour into me. So I never expected when I had an issue, that I could call somebody or call them and they would listen. I just literally I dealt with it. I talked to my kids, you know, about certain things, not everything, but I dealt with it. I called my mother, but she only 12 minutes, 7 minutes away from me. I called my mom, and of course she didn't want to hear it. She older now.